Wait, is your eye okay? How'd that happen? Who are you sparring?
I'm sparring a bunch of world champion heavyweights. I think Lawrence Okolie did.
Jake talks about getting his eye blacked, by Lawrence Okolie. He talks about getting his eye blacked by Lawrence Okolie, who is a legit 6'5".
Wait, is your eye okay? How'd that happen? Who are you sparring?
I think it's still going to be dangerous. I'm actually quite worried.
Jake Paul's training camp has erupted into chaos, and the whispers coming out of those closed-door sessions are getting louder by the minute. What was supposed to be a routine sparring run-through with Lawrence Okolie has turned into a full-blown crisis, exposing vulnerabilities that Jake and his team desperately hoped would remain hidden from the world. Inside reports
Jake's getting fucked up in sparring, and that could be the case. I don't know. I have no idea.
Describe a disastrous session, one where Jake Paul didn't just struggle, didn't just get touched up, but was reportedly dropped cold by Okolie in what witnesses are calling a full-on sparring KO. The very phrase alone sends shockwaves across the boxing community. This wasn't casual contact. This wasn't a friendly tune-up. According to insiders, Okolie, long, rangy,
prepares for the Anthony Joshua fight, and I am getting more and more worried for Jake's health as we get closer and closer to this fight, because today not only has Jake Paul let us see that he has a massive,
powerful and brutally efficient, tore through Jake's defense like it wasn't even there. Punches sliced through his guard, exposing leaky fundamentals and a lack of true heavyweight resilience. Sparring is meant to refine, teach, and sharpen skills. Instead, it became a nightmare scenario. A YouTube star trying to prove he belongs in the heavyweight division, getting battered by...
This guy gets him for the rocks. So this is big, don't get me wrong, but they whisper to me, it's 15. Oh, easy. So I'm there thinking, yep, break time, I'm gonna rest, I'm gonna get my breath back. I've got 12 rounds, I'll just use these rounds.
By a man who barely had to try. And now the question is louder than ever. If Jake Paul can't survive Lawrence Okolie in practice, how on earth is he supposed to withstand Anthony Joshua in a real fight? Before stepping into the ring, Jake's confidence is being punched apart round by round. His face has reportedly shown the evidence. Bruises, swelling.
It's totally different. Sparring, you're there to learn. So the guy you knocked out in sparring, he's understand, okay, I did this silly move, that's how I got knocked out. So I'm gonna have to stop doing these silly moves so I don't get...
And the unmistakable look of a man who has been forced to confront a reality harsher than any trash talk he throws online. Okolie, even while easing up, dominated every round. Those in the gym say Jake struggled to keep his footing, and his stamina evaporated once real heavyweight pressure was applied. If a sparring partner can push him to the brink, then Joshua, bigger, stronger, smarter, and vastly...
Do you think you're gonna knock him out?
Yeah, 100%. I see holes in his game where I can land a big shot.
Okay.
100%. It's going to be a very, 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 very tough fight.
Do you think this is your hardest opponent?
Yeah, by far.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, bro, I'm just outgunned in every category.
Logan, what do you think about him fighting Anthony Joshua?
I think it's
more experienced, may not just beat him, but dismantle him entirely. Derek Chisora has already weighed in, and his verdict is brutal. He calls Jake's performance an embarrassment, a dose of reality that can't be spun with social media swagger. Chisora has seen it all and fought the best, and from his perspective, Jake's sparring looks less like preparation.
The nicest two heavyweights I've sat down with, that I've been around in a long time, Fabio Wardley and Joseph Parker. So for this to come out about one of them, it's just a bit heartbreaking, if I'm honest with you.
And more like a warning sign written in flashing red lights. Chisora highlights the sloppy fundamentals, the weak defensive reactions, and the panic that crept into Jake's movements as soon as Okolie began applying pressure. Sparring is supposed to help a fighter build confidence and technique. Instead, Jake walked away humiliated, rattled, and visibly shaken before the real battle even begins. Jake publicly claims he sees holes in...
Bigger head guards, bigger gloves, so stuff like speed and like athleticism plays more of a factor because...
Joshua's style and predicts a knockout. But behind closed doors, Okolie has already exposed the truth. Jake wasn't just outgunned, he was outclassed. The hype machine can only spin so many narratives before reality becomes undeniable. Jake's bravado is starting to crumble under the weight of what truly happened in the gym. Fans who once believed in the miracle upset are now openly doubting whether he can even make it through the first round with AJ. Adelaide Depot adds even more fuel to the fire, pointing out that Jake's supposed size advantage is a myth when compared to true heavyweights. Against Okolie, Jake looked small, limited, and overwhelmed. Against Joshua, the size gap.
I don't see the sense of it. What do you want to go sparring for? Behind closed doors. Let all the fans see it. Do it in a ring, get paid for it. I mean, it's
Gap turns monstrous. Every inch of height, every pound of muscle, every moment of technical mastery favors AJ. Depot warns that Jake's confidence, so loud online, will collapse the moment Joshua lands anything clean. Jake can talk all he wants, but the ring doesn't care about words. It only respects preparation, skill, and heart. And right now, Jake is failing on all fronts. Frank Warren has been even harsher. He calls Jake's entire sparring setup a facade, a glossy publicity stunt designed to look impressive from the outside, while hiding the truth inside. Warren says that no amount of closed-door theatrics can mask what happened with Okolie. Jake was beaten, battered, and exposed. He lacked power.
He hits harder than people expect, I think. I think a lot of people, obviously, they pick up on his boxing and how good of a boxer he is, but he hits harder than people expect.
Power. He lacked defense. He lacked ring IQ. All the fundamentals that real heavyweights live and breathe were nowhere to be found. And Warren makes it clear. When Jake steps in with Anthony Joshua, every flaw that Okolie exposed will be magnified tenfold. This isn't a YouTube showdown. This isn't influencer boxing. This is the heavyweight division, one of the most dangerous stages in professional sports. And Jake is walking in dramatically unprepared. David Adelaide, another heavyweight with inside knowledge, simply shakes his head. He says that Joshua's power is misunderstood by casuals who think highlight reels tell the...
I look at everybody he's got in his sparring camp. I personally don't believe that you can actually... The sparring partners he's got right now, they're pushing him to...
Full story. In reality, AJ's punches break rhythm, break confidence, and break careers. Jake is about to feel that firsthand. Adelaide notes that Jake couldn't even handle Okolie's controlled sparring pressure. When AJ starts firing with real knockout intention, Jake's bravado will evaporate instantly. Derek Chisora doubles down, saying Jake's entire camp is built more around optics than genuine development. He surrounds himself with partners who won't challenge him properly, leaving him unprepared for the true danger that awaits. Okolie exposed the truth. Jake hasn't been pushed, hasn't been tested, and hasn't been conditioned to deal with elite-level physicality. Against Joshua, Chisora predicts a collapse, fast and violent.
I don't think he's world class. He's not really my cup of tea. I mean, I don't look at boxing probably the way you do or most sort of fans do. I look at...
Duke McKenzie also chimes in, dismissing Jake's claims of world-class potential. McKenzie says anyone who truly understands boxing can see right through the hype. Okolie's domination in sparring wasn't an accident. It wasn't a fluke. It was the natural outcome of a professional fighter dismantling an inexperienced, untested celebrity boxer pretending to play heavyweight. Duke insists that Joshua will slice through Jake's sloppy timing, weak guard, and predictable movements with surgical precision. Johnny Nelson doesn't hold back either. He says Jake Paul's legs already tell the story. Heavy, shaky, inconsistent. The wear is visible despite Jake's attempts to project an image of perfection. Nelson says that Jake's body simply isn't conditioned for sustained heavyweight intensity. Okolie's shots took his legs away repeatedly, and Joshua's punches will be twice as punishing. Joe Rogan delivers one of the most devastating assessments. He points out the sheer
Anthony Joshua, who's now 5 inches bigger than you, maybe more, or 4 or 5 inches, and about 100 pounds heavier. You just don't go from there right up to there. I don't believe it. And I won't believe it until the two of them got 10-ounce gloves on in a boxing ring. Because if Anthony Joshua puts 10-ounce gloves on and gets in a boxing ring and Jake Paul is in the other corner, This won't last.
Physical mismatch. Joshua, standing 5 inches taller and carrying over 50 pounds more muscle, is a different species of fighter compared to Jake. Rogan emphasizes that Okolie already exposed Jake's inability to handle someone taller, rangier, or stronger. Joshua dominates every inch of distance, every exchange, every position. Rogan warns that Jake won't even have time to breathe, let alone execute some knockout strategy he claims to have. Shannon Briggs adds fuel to the blaze, saying everyone inside the circles knows Jake has been dropped multiple times in sparring. And while taking a spill is part of the sport, Briggs argues that the frequency and severity of Jake's incidents show a bigger pattern. Jake isn't ready for professionals, much less for champions. Okolie leaving him rattled is a preview of the disaster Joshua will deliver on fight night. Shannon Briggs continues by reinforcing that hype can't compete with reality. Jake's repeated struggles show he's out of his depth.
And I said, look, if you're to believe that he had the best training camp, his legs have gone. And if I've got it wrong, his legs.
The gap between influencers and elite heavyweights is enormous. And Jake is about to learn the hard way. Against AJ, every flaw, poor defense, weak punch resistance, limited footwork, shaky stamina, will be exposed on the biggest stage. This matchup isn't a spectacle. It's an impending lesson in humility. Fans are bracing not for a competitive bout, but for the moment when Jake Paul's illusion of heavyweight legitimacy comes crashing down. The ring is unforgiving. It exposes truth, strips away mystique, and punishes pretense. And Jake Paul, despite all his social media theatrics and loud proclamations, is walking directly into a storm he is nowhere near prepared to survive. The message from insiders, legends, commentators, and fighters is unanimous. Jake Paul is stepping into the most dangerous reality check of his life, and the cracks in his armor are already showing.